think it's based on a quote from a German general who, like, upon seeing the Allied ships advancing, said, for the British and the Germans, this will be the longest day.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it probably was a long day for the Germans.
Hello, and welcome to Maiden Voyages, a podcast where we are finally going to talk about the actual content of the album A Matter of Life and Death after promising it for 6 months. So stop messaging me about it. Are you happy now? We're going to do it, okay? But breathe. Before we jump into it, let's introduce ourselves.
I didn't realise it had been 6 months. That went quick, didn't it?
Really did. Yeah, man.
So I'm Blev, an historian of sorts, and I am an Iron Maiden acolyte.
Acolyte.
Yeah. I thought of that on the walk over, then I had to Google it to double check it meant what I thought it did.
So, what is it, like a follower? Like a devotee?
A follower, yeah. I think that's almost the dictionary definition, Sam. Yeah. It's also Steve Hackett of Genesis, or formerly of Genesis. His first solo album is the Voyage of the Acolyte, which is a good album.
But the acolyte of what?
I don't know, Sam. It's got like a ghostly, ethereal figure on the cover.
Okay.
And it's also got Phil Collins doing some of the drums.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's good. Anyway.
I'm Sam. I'm a writer of sorts, and I am an Iron Maiden prophet. That's above an acolyte.
Yeah, that implies I follow you.
I am an Iron Maiden churchgoer.
Yes.
Does that work?
I mean, but maybe not like... I was about to say you don't religiously go to church, hey. But oh dear, maybe just like the big ones:
Easter, Christmas. I'm there for the Christingle,
the Harvest Festival.
Do you go to church for the Harvest Festival?
Oh yeah,
is that? I don't know how church works.
You've got to get down to church for the Harvest Festival, Sam. Where are you getting your tinned veg from?
Sainsbury's.
Well, or the church doing Harvest Festival.
Okay.
Yeah.
I shan't be going there. I'm pretty sure if I step into a church at this stage, my flesh will start burning on entry. So, you know.
You'll just metamorphose into a bat. Fly away into the belfry.
Don't look at me. I'm a monster.
So, on that blasphemous note, we are going to talk about I was about to say a not particularly blasphemous album, but not a particularly holy album, I'd say.
It has a song called For the Greater Good of God.
It seems to be slamming religion.
Yeah.
I don't think it's saying religion's a good thing, Sam.
Wonder how Nico feels about
that. Get him on the pod and ask him.
Yeah. He's got nothing to do other than run his rib shack nowadays.
And slag off the new Maiden production, as I saw on Metal News websites at the time of recording.
Yeah, although like I think it was more in jest than the written word carries it. So I watched listened to the interview, and it was much more like Nico, you know, rather than I hate everyone in the Iron Maiden.
So, if it's up to me, we'd have...
Yeah, it was more jolly.
30 eddies. And no screen... I don't know if Rod Smallwood
what is this accent?
He's not from Yorkshire. Yeah. And no screens. I don't
the approach I take with my toddler.
Yeah.
It's not actually. She watches a lot of Thomas the Tank Engine.
Does she watch it on a screen that's like bigger than this entire street?
No. I think that might blow her tiny little mind.
Yeah, that is something.
Yeah.
Right. Track 1, Sam. Different World.
What do you think about it?
Oh, right, I'm going.
I'm putting you on the spot. You always make me go first.
Yeah, true. Different World. I like Different World. It's quite a lot like Wildest Dreams. In the two live very much side by side in my mind.
Yeah, that's fair.
It takes me usually one of my many highly prized skills is I think I can pinpoint every Maiden song within a fraction of a second of it coming on.
I wonder if that skill will ever be useful.
It certainly can't be monetized, Sam. God knows I've tried.
And neither can this podcast.
No, neither can this podcast.
Because I looked it up and we don't have enough listeners.
God damn it. Just need a wealthy benefactor or someone with too much more money than sense to sponsor us. But yeah, there's always that fact. If they just come on, there's always that split second. I'm like, is it Wildest Dream? No, it's Different World. But it's got a very cool riff. The Adrian Smith's trademark riffage all over it.
Yeah.
Fun verse, Bruce sounding good. I really like the chorus and the almost hilariously bad backing vocals. It sounds like Steve in the back, just like, you don't really often hear him on Maiden records.
Yeah.
But it sounds like Kevin Shirley has just taken Adrian and Steve's backing vocals and just shoved them right up to the front of the mix there. What I like you to know.
Yeah.
See the same old thing. I mean, it just sounds like Steve Harris singing.
Yeah, I never really noticed that, but yeah, I think you might be right.
Yeah, no, I'm sure there's a lot of Steve
Yeah.
in the mix on the backing vocal.
I like that you assume it's Kevin Shirley turning up when in reality we both think Steve.
Yeah, Steve is
on
just
like the little.
You know what would
thing.
sound really good?
If I just slide these ones up.
I seem to remember, like, when you saw it live, yeah, Steve and Adrian were both just belting out
Yeah.
the chorus alongside Bruce. It's very fun. It's a very life-affirming, positive song.
Yeah.
Is it a Maiden song that is going to change your life? No. Is it anyone's favourite Maiden song? Well,
I hope not.
probably. I mean, I've been on Reddit
I don't mean
so
that
people are
as,
defending
like,
the
it's a
hell
bad
out of
song,
Angel and the
but
Gambler, but
jeez.
yeah, I know, man. The internet's bleak. What is going on?
There's a song for everyone.
Yeah. So
It's all part of life's rich tapestry.
So
That tapestry is sewn with idiots.
yeah. So basically, in the canon of Maiden openers, is this an all-time great Maiden opener? No. Do I really like it? Yeah.
No, that's fair.
That's about it, really.
I'm mostly similar. I actually, I agree with you. It treads a very similar path to Wildest Dreams, but it's kind of like if Wildest Dreams was a good song, is the way I feel about it.
Oh, what? You prefer Different World to Wildest
I
Dreams?
prefer Different World quite significantly. Well, okay, maybe not significant, but like Wildest Dreams isn't a bad song, but I find it quite average song, and it doesn't really fit Dance of Death. And this, I think, is a more interesting song, even though it's from the same mold in many ways. I really like, there's this juxtaposition between having like this pre-chorus that's really big and belted with Bruce being like, don't wanna be
Yes.
and then it goes into like this really pulled back chorus of the I like you to know.
Yeah.
That like trade-off is quite an interesting subversion, considering Maiden usually just go like build and build, but this is build and pull
big
back.
and bigger. Yeah.
And something about that makes it a really interesting song to me. And I think tonally, that's something a lot of this album does, is like pulls back the bigness that you might expect from a Maiden album. Like not that the songs are small, but there's a muted quality to some of the tracks, deliberately so.
Yeah.
And so whilst this is probably like the most upbeat track on the album, I think it still kind of sets that tone a little bit. Whereas with Wildest Dreams, it's just like, here's a super happy song that would really fit on Planet Rock.
Yeah.
And we're going to have a quite melancholy album afterwards.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, this is your little, yeah.
This is your nice bit.
This is the nice bit. We can get this out the way nice and quickly.
But it's also boring. Whereas I quite like Different World.
It's interesting what you said about some of the sound being muted, though, because I was thinking, doing the notes of this album, as we'll get onto, this is such a critically acclaimed Maiden record. Like probably one of, were you to Metacritic this would be one of the most universally acclaimed Maiden albums.
Yeah.
And yet it doesn't really have songs that have cemented themselves in the Maiden live show or in the Maiden greatest hits canon, really.
There's not the
doesn't really have a Passchendaele. Even you could say Dance of Death, you could say, well, it's got Passchendaele. I'd probably put Rainmaker in there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, this album, not so much.
It doesn't have the like set pieces that Dance of Death has. It's, I think, we'll come on to it more as we go through the tracks, but it's a much more restrained and contemplative album. or contemplative. I don't know how to pronounce that word. I've only written it.
Contemplative. There's three takes. There you go.
Let's have a fourth one just for trying. Contemplative.
Contemplative. Take your pick.
Consider. It's a very considered
There we go. You can edit every time you say that word now. Just edit all those other different things in. Just drop them in.
Just play all four of them at once.
Yeah. And talking about being more restrained in some ways, track 2 kind of gives us a little bit of a template, if you're being unkind of a formula of sorts.
Yeah.
That the rest of the album does somewhat follow, which is These Colours Don't Run.
Here's a slow, melodic, cleanish intro before the song kicks off. And let's do that. Copy and paste 9 times from here.
Okay. Well, I see where you're going with this, Sam. I'm not sure I like it, but I can't say I disagree with it. But
no, but it's something we identified a lot happening from, especially on the X Factor. Like there was a lot of a similar thing. And I think at the time I said the X Factor becomes the blueprint for a lot of Steve's writing style from that point onwards.
Yeah.
And I think this is a little bit of an example of that. But having put that aside, I think once it gets past that little intro bit, you've got this really solid, melodic, mid-pace, slightly poppy Maiden song with this really cool...
The verse is great. The verse riff,
really cool spirally guitar.
But also really heavy. The
Yeah.
And like what Nico's doing, Nico's drumming is amazing. Like, yeah, it's... I'm not sure if it is an odd time signature, but Nico's playing makes it feel like...
And then you've got that like
really
big
strange,
rousing verse of like, it's the same in every... Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
But yeah.
The passion. Yeah. This would be a very different podcast if it was just us singing all the various...
We're just going to sing through the entire album for you.
Just really going
and then like I like the chorus, but the chorus again is X Factor writing.
Oh, the chorus is so X Factor.
Because it's that...
Yeah. And you can guess what my biggest criticism of the song is, Sam. It's essentially the chorus, which I think is the weakest part of the song, actually.
And then the song is also 7 minutes, which it doesn't have the ideas to sustain 7 minutes. Like there's just like a lot of guitar solos. There's a nice lead guitar break melody at some point, and then back to chorus. But it's quite for a song that I can only ever think of like 3 to 4 minutes of. It's quite a flabby song, you know. There's a lot of gristle.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I like it as a song. I do find
it's a good song. I enjoy it.
Yeah,
but it's too long.
The length isn't my. It's more the chorus I find a bit underwhelming. It's just that stabbing power chord thing of. It's just the X Factor's revenge, isn't it? Just like
it's a very X Factor.
You could
song,
hear
like
Blaze
a good
singing
X Factor song.
Yeah,
but yeah, you could really imagine Blaze singing it. Again, I'm sure he'd do a great job of it. Blaze has a great voice.
Indeed, he does. But yeah, and I guess at the time it felt very emotive because this was still very fresh in the post Sharon Egggate Ozfest Gate.
I've
incident.
only I've only just connected that this song might be related to that, and considering even earlier today I was editing the previous episode and I got to the point where we were specifically talking about the phrase "these colors don't run." I've only just connected the dots because I'm not a smart man.
Well, Bruce was asked about it at the time. Is this about that? And he sort of deflected and said, "Oh, well, Sharon thinks everything's about her anyway." So,
which is quite a good response.
Yeah, it is quite. It's quite quick. But also, he was like, "So no, but." I mean, probably, yeah. I mean, it's clearly not a song directly about that.
At the very least, it's a cheeky nod, right?
A cheeky...
Whilst the song is just about...
A cheeky nod.
War.
Yeah, which again, thematically very much fits with a lot of the other lyrics in the album.
Yeah. And as we established, this was a wartime phrase. So,
Well, indeed.
Bruce didn't come up with it, Blevin.
No, he did not. He cannot take credit for that. But equally, I think maybe
he can take credit for World War II.
Yes, and also I don't think they need to worry about the members of Beckett suing them for "These Colours Don't Run." I think they're safe there. It's not Hallowed Be Our Name all over again. So then we get on to Brighter Than 1,000 Suns, which I think it's a very cool intro. Like it's made in proper foreboding.
Yeah.
Like it genuinely creates quite a sinister atmosphere, I think. Just talk about a build and a crescendo. There are some times where the intros feel a little bit superfluous.
Yeah.
And that's me being a little bit kind, perhaps. But on these colours on Brighter Than 1,000 Suns, I do think, this is building something dark and sinister. They kind of really sort of were a bit ahead of the game, really, because post Oppenheimer, a song about the atomic bomb, would have been very zeitgeisty. But
really missed the trick licensing this out to Christopher Nolan.
Can you
make this the end credits theme to your film, please?
I mean, it would have been quite a different. Have you seen Oppenheimer?
I still haven't watched it, actually.
It's good.
When there was a choice,
it's long
between
like this album,
Oppenheimer and Barbie, I was Camp Barbie, which I thought was a great film.
I'm sure it is a good film.
It's genuinely a very good, enjoyable film, as long as you ignore the fact that it's Mattel, effectively a giant corporation, telling you how great they are because they can poke fun at themselves, and they're not this faceless, soulless corporation that's concerned about profit above all else, and they'll put any ideology ahead if it makes them seem like a better brand. As long as you ignore that, it's a great film. But
also doesn't have any Iron Maiden songs in it, so
no, although it's more likely to have Iron Maiden songs than Oppenheimer. It's Barbie driving in a Cadillac cranking Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter.
But yeah, Brighter Than 1,000 Suns, I think, is like a really early high point of this album, actually.
Yeah, I think it's a really strong track.
Good chorus as well. Like lyrically very strong as well, I think. This is Bruce, I presume. He's got a writing credit here, hasn't he? So
the song sounds very Brucey.
It does sound quite Brucey, yeah.
I'll just get this out the way as my only criticism. Why is it 9 minutes long? I don't think it has quite enough to sustain 9 minutes. But
your criticism for every song from now on, Sam.
Yeah, I know. So I'm not going to dwell on that because we'll take that for granted. But I agree with you. It has some really good building, and I really like how the intro goes into that really stonking heavy riff afterwards. And then, I really love the motif of the building up of the out of the darkness.
Yeah.
That's a great section. And then also just the bit where Bruce is like belting out of the universe.
Yeah.
This is what I want from it. It's like it's quite a haunting track.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Like it's actually it's kind of interesting, isn't it? For you can imagine if Maiden had taken the Manhattan Project and Hiroshima and Nagasaki as like lyrical inspiration in the 1980s, they probably wouldn't have handled it as sensitively or as deftly as they do. Yeah, boom.
Yeah, no, I don't think they would have had the maturity to tackle it with the much needed gravitas of those events.
Yeah, because it does need that gravitas, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It needs a little bit of maturity. Like, I don't really want 20-year-old Steve Harris's take on Hiroshima.
No.
So, yeah, well done, Bruce, for writing something that feels...
Have Maiden ever done a song about Pearl Harbor? That feels like a song they might do, or is it too American-centric?
Maybe a bit American. I'm surprised they haven't done Dunkirk yet.
Yeah.
I mean, really...
This would have been the album for it, right?
I mean, they could have done the full Sabaton, really, couldn't they? And just, just called this album World War II and just done every song about an aspect of World War II.
I will say the Sabaton really missed a trick when they just had two series of albums of the Great War followed by the War to End All Wars, when they could have just had the Great War and World War II. It was like, great. Boom. Nailed it.
You can't call an album World War II.
Not with that attitude.
No, sorry. Got to think big, man. What's bigger than the First World War? The Second World War.
Yeah. World War II, War Harder.
It's the ultimate sequel.
Yeah.
But we get a respite from the war theme for a little bit because we get The Pilgrim, which is a really odd little song in the Maiden back catalogue, I think.
Yeah, it's an uncharacteristically groovy opening for Maiden.
Yeah, although it kind of fits into, because this is the first Yannick song we get. Oh, it's a Yannick Steve co-write, I think, isn't it?
And it's got like that sort of Celtic, jiggy
it is
vibe
very
to it.
Yannicky, but it's also like Yannick didn't really get the brief about the album. It was just like, it's like, so what direction are we going in? Someone told Yannick, because he's just brought this in. It's just like, it's proper Stonehenge Spinal Tap as an intro, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a bit.
But I like it. It's great.
That's a good song.
Yeah. And albums like this do need those palate cleansers. You do just need something that's like, here's 4 or 5 minutes of just fun, jaunty, Celtic-y riffs.
Yeah.
With that slightly very Richie Blackmore take on Eastern parenthesis kind of music, the do-new-new-new, which is very like Gates of Babylon by Rainbow, bit in the midsection. But it's not really a lot to think about with The Pilgrim, so this is good fun.
It does have something in it. Bruce doing a vocal harmony with himself in the pre-chorus.
One of my gripes about Maiden really from this point on is how Bruce just really stops overdubbing his vocals. We get so few Bruce harmonies. I mean, it's only really a handful of them in this album. And
I like it. I think
he's a master of it.
Yeah.
Maybe I was just annoyed that you don't get it in choruses anymore.
maybe
you don't get that Flight of Icarus style, multi-layered, full. You know what, like singers like Hansi Kirsch from Blind Guardian do now. These like kind of walls of vocals.
A literal chorus, which is what you want from a big chorus. Is a chorus of vocals.
Well, even just someone give Aidan Smith a microphone. He can. He can do a nice little vocal harmony.
Yeah, it'd be great.
But I'm well into the bridge.
Okay, that's interesting.
If anything, I'd like it. I'd like it more.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and again, this is one of those Maiden songs where you go, wow, because obviously all of this album was played live, as we'll discuss more next episode. But it's like, that's kind of fun. I got to see Maiden play The Pilgrim live because
we're not getting that again.
No, and to be honest, if they didn't commit to playing the whole album, I doubt it ever would have happened at all.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like if they hadn't committed to playing the whole album, most of these songs I can't see getting an airing live. Not because of
they would have done on the tour.
They would have, but they would have played half the album.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
maybe 4 songs. Right. So I think it's quite interesting that the whole album has been aired live because that's not a privilege awarded to many of their other albums.
No, well, none of their other albums.
But with arguably more deserving tracks.
Well, yes, yeah, yeah, that is fair. Yeah, that is indeed fair. I mean, the fact that we're still waiting for Only the Good Die Young live still makes me a bit sad.
That's silly.
But Pilgrim done, track 5, The Longest Day.
Or like the longest song.
I knew that was.
No, I kid. The song is fine. It's
better than fine, Sam.
Sort of like X Factory until it gets to the really nice AOR chorus.
Yeah, which is a odd, but I also appreciate that gear shift. Because what I really appreciate is how it's almost like a false chorus, right? Because there's so here we go, and you think this is the chorus, and then it almost goes half time, and it changes time to which I think is great.
Like Journey, it's great.
Yeah, I think it's a very underrated song in the Maiden canon. No one really talks about The Longest Day.
Yeah, I think it's a good song, like length aside. It's also got quite an interesting bit in the middle 8 where it goes quite neoclassical.
Oh yeah,
which is not Maiden's usual go-to motif.
No, although I do feel like by the time we get to Senjutsu, they do recycle that type of midsection quite a lot later on.
Yeah.
But that's not a problem here because they weren't doing that yet. But
it's novel here.
Yeah, it is novel. Lyrically, we're going back to World War II.
Of course we are.
D-Day, Operation Overlord. Yeah. Any thoughts on D-Day, Sam?
I wouldn't recommend it.
I mean, I wouldn't recommend it, but fair play to them.
Fair play to them.
Well, I'm glad it happened.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I have to say,
But not the Nazi, the liberation of Europe, I hasten to add.
I mean, in an ideal world, World War II wouldn't have had to happen full stop, you know?
What a world, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Turns out it wasn't enough to stop the Nazis because they're coming back. But anyway.
Wow.
But I think one thing about this album as a whole is actually, I think this is more just to do with my own personal interests, but I just don't tend to connect to a lot of the lyrics on it. Like, I know most of it's about war and battles and stuff, but I would have to be pushed to tell you any specifics about most of the lyrics across the album. And I think it's just because I'm so disinterested in military stuff that it kind of just washes over me. So like, oh yeah, this song is cool and I like this phrasing. I don't care what it's about.
As you see, this does play quite specifically to my interests.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, if this was an album about, I don't know, trains, I'd be pretty interested.
yeah, so would I.
Like,
That'd be great.
yeah.
But even before this album came out, I mean, were you aware of the film The Longest Day?
Nope.
Well, okay, I'd seen that. I knew that film really well. It's based on a book by Cornelius Ryan about D-Day.
As an aside, it's Maiden missed a trick not having a song on this album called Saving Private Ryan.
I mean, to be fair, actually...
Considering their propensity to just, use film titles.
Yeah. I mean, that would be very on the nose, wouldn't it? Although, actually, I do think lyrically... Well, lyrically, it draws more from the imagery of Saving Private Ryan than The Longest Day. The Longest Day was like this very cinematic, all-star cast, like Richard Burton, John Wayne. It was like a huge film in its time. Like, it's probably like the first big cinematic representation of D-Day after the Second World War.
Right.
It's quite a good bit of cinematography.
Okay.
Because no CGI, right? So you had to get loads of landing craft and...
Yeah.
I think it's based on a quote from a German general who, like, upon seeing the Allied ships advancing, said for the British and the Germans, this will be the longest day.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it probably was a long day for the Germans.
This is a real slog.
Christ, remember I told you this morning I said it was going to be a long day?
Yeah.
Bloody hell. It's going to be a long month, mate. Long year, I reckon. 1944.
Oi. Jeez.
But yeah, I'm a big fan of The Longest Day. And like I said, I don't think it gets enough love. Like, people don't talk about it.
Well, we're talking about it.
Well, we're talking about it. We're setting the nation's conversation alight.
Yeah. At certain points, I feel like I'm talking about it under duress. Yeah. I'm talking about it.
Maybe there's like an alternative version of this podcast where we can run it as like a call-in radio show. So, call in, folks. Tell us what you think about The Longest Day off A Matter of Life and Death.
No calls.
Get the nation talking. No, still no calls.
Still, is there anyone online? No.
Well, maybe, Sam. If we said, what do you think about Out of the Shadows? Maybe the lines would be red hot.
It's a good song.
It is a good song. I still think the lines would be dead, but...
yeah. But it's Out of the Shadows is sort of like the closest thing to a power ballad this album has.
Now, if we rewind however long, see in my head it's like 4 weeks, but fucking tell me it was like 4 years, to the episode we did about Dream Maiden set lists. Am I right in thinking Out of the Shadows was in your Dream Maiden set?
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was, yeah.
I can't actually remember anymore.
Oh, well, we both seem to think it was. So
yeah.
Either we were both
Sounds very plausible, and I might have just put it in there
Indeed,
for variety's sake.
Yeah.
But yeah, this song, I know it's got a co-write from Bruce, but this song more than most of the album makes me think of Bruce's solo material.
Yeah.
Like the latter half of it.
Oh, definitely. It's so Bruce solo. I'm really interested to see, because it's an odd one in Latter Day Maiden, because it's just a Bruce Steve co-write. So we tend to get Bruce Adrian, Dave Murray Steve, or Steve and Adrian, particularly in the post sort of Adrian coming back era.
Yeah.
Not many times you just get Bruce and Steve
yeah.
as a pairing. So I wonder what Steve brought to this. I mean,
God knows.
My suspicion is, from the sounds of it, it sounds very Bruce, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does sound very Bruce. Yeah. This is one of my favorite tracks on the album. I think it's a real highlight.
Yeah, I think clearly you like it more than me, and I like it. But I think it's good. It's nice. The album needs it. at this point. It's been quite heavy, particularly Longest Days.
Yeah.
Longest Days dense, it's quite
Yeah.
foreboding riff. You benefit from this lighter, more, typically Bruce kind of contemplative moment. Is it that word again, Sam?
Contemplative. Contemplative.
We'll edit them.
I think you probably said it right.
Contemplative.
I just find that a hard word to say.
I mean, I was about to say message us on Instagram, but I'm not sure how that would help, to be honest.
just write the word contemplative.
I can spell it, for God's sake. I'll just say it.
Send us a voice note.
Lyrically, it's very Bruce as well. In that way that Bruce is quite good at just crafting words that I don't really know what they mean, but they sound nice to my ears.
But there's sort of like a mystical edge to it.
Yeah, mystical is the word.
Yes, sort of an enigma to the lyricism. It's one of the few songs where I was like, I'm actually listening to the lyrics a bit.
Yeah.
So it's not directly just war.
I mean, that would be a hell of a cover, wouldn't it?
Well, that should have been the B-side on one of the singles. Anyway, should we talk about the reincarnation of Benjamin Bree?
Let's talk about
which is one of the most obnoxiously long song titles.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost Manic Street Preacher-esque, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you tolerate this, then Benjamin Bree will be next.
Yeah, just not as good.
Yeah. No, I mean, in the whole pantheon of Maiden song titles and lyrics, inventing a fictional character.
It's not a standard Maiden move.
No, whose name doesn't feature in the song at all.
Yeah.
And indeed, seemingly this could be just a kind of I'm not saying it's a bad lyric, but it's quite a sort of general, vague lyric about regret and redemption that could apply to almost anyone. Having to hang it on
Here's some really elaborate lore that we're going to put around this song.
And I wonder what came first. Was it the marketing opportunity of the enigma of a title?
Yeah.
Or was it a title that then people thought, well, this could work as a nice little hook marketing opportunity?
Where did the name Benjamin Bree even come from?
That has never been ascertained. I think it's just a purely fabricated, just pulling a name out of
Such an
an
oddly specific
name. Brieg.
Yeah.
I was about to say, Benjamin's not that strange as a name. Brieg is quite
Benjamin?
Benjamin?
Never heard that.
What? Benny Brieg?
Benny Bree. Yeah, if it was called the reincarnation of Benny Bree, it would have quite a different tone, I think.
But as a song, though, as a song, great riff. When we get the riff.
The heavy riff is great.
Yeah. And again, Dave Murray
reminds me a bit of Stranger in a Strange Land. It's that same kind of
it is that. Yeah, that's a good point. I made that connection.
Of a riff.
Yeah. And a really fun chorus, I think.
Yeah. Great chorus.
This, even me, as a staunch defender of the Maiden Long song, I am inclined to say the intros are by this point in the album, I'm like, okay, this feels superfluous.
Particularly on this song.
Yeah.
The intro is 2 whole minutes long.
Is it 2 minutes?
It would have been just as effective if it was like 30 seconds just to kind of have something.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I'm pretty sure the single edit just goes straight in at the da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
Oh, it probably does, yeah.
And it's so much more powerful just starting from the heavy bit because that's where it's good. And the intro can just be excised entirely from the song, like the lancing of a boil, you know?
Yeah.
But it's when it does get to the song proper, that riff is great. I really love Bruce's vocal melody, how it's like kind of constantly rising. The
yeah,
like that's such a cool melody. And Bruce just sounds very good on it.
Yeah, he sounds great.
So yeah, it's a really great song, tarnished by a 2-minute indulgent X-Factory bass solo-y meandering mess of an intro.
Tarnished is harsh, but there's this. I think Steve borrows a lot of these intro type pieces from his love of Peter Gabriel era Genesis.
That's fine, but Genesis know how to do it.
Yeah, that's the thing. And also, not every song, or begins to feel like every song has to have some delicate, eerie, arpeggio, clean guitar, bass thing.
I think the thing that sets something like a Genesis album apart is there is a sense of flow and cohesion to the whole album. So yes, you do have these sort of self-indulgent moments, or these quieter moments, or these stripped back moments.
Yeah.
But the whole thing works together as one piece. Whereas increasingly as you get through this album, it does start to feel a bit like, oh, I need to, have some light and shade in this song, so I'm just going to bang on this intro.
Yeah.
That doesn't necessarily fit. It's in the same key, but then, we're not going to revisit any of these melodies or anything.
But sometimes it's worse when they do, but just at the end as like a coda.
Oh,
it's like,
now
it's back again. But I thought we'd forgotten about that.
Yeah.
And then right at the end of the song, it comes back for another minute of it. And you're like...
Yeah, and it's just kind of like, well, this feels very... for the sake of it, It's
like a sandwich with a tasty filling, but the bread is no good.
The bread is very stale.
Yeah, the bread is a bit stale, mate. Yeah.
But you got like prime beef in the middle.
Yeah. Which is sort of fine because you can overlook the stale bread, but...
I'd just remove the bread, and just eat
like an absolute savage. Just tearing at the beef in your bare hands.
Better than eating stale bread.
But yeah, no, a confession, at the time, because this was obviously the first thing most of us heard of this album,
Yeah.
I was initially a little bit underwhelmed.
I mean, I think that's fair as well.
Well, no, but this has actually genuinely grown on me, the song, and it grew on me quite quickly. But I think
I think having this as your like burst,
well, that's it, yeah,
drop for the album is kind of like, oh.
And to be fair, up until this point, we had been primed as Maiden fans. Every first single, because they still were first singles then, focus or lead tracks. What are you getting? Like, it's. Wicker Man, Further Back in Time, it's Tail Gunner. It's always like something up tempo, and usually they're quite good at picking out really standout songs to lead with.
Yeah,
and I'm not sure that the Reincarnation of Benjamin Brieg is necessarily, even within the context of this album, I don't think it's regarded as a standout track.
No,
as much as I think it's a very good track, I don't think it's entered the canon of like... Well, it's interesting to think of it as a Maiden single, right? Because as Maiden singles goes...
It's a very weird single.
It's a weird single, and also probably not a particularly... Well, certainly not a well-known Maiden single.
No, of course not.
I mean, to say it's not fondly regarded, because as soon as you say that, you get 1,000,001 people shouting at you, I love it, it's amazing. I was like, okay, good for you.
Horses for courses,
But I don't know why I'm sounding like I'm down on it, because actually I think it's really good. Great riff.
It's a good song.
Great chorus.
It's bloated
stuff.
But it's a weird choice for a first single. I agree with you on that. I think like you would have been better served having like, I don't know, These Colours Don't Run as your first taste of the album.
Or just Different World.
Or Different World. The thing with Different World is... Yeah, I mean, it's catchy and it's very single. But if you wanted to like make a statement like, oh, this is going to be a moody album, at least These Colours Don't Run is kind of like somewhere between Different World and the rest of the album.
Yeah.
I think. Before we get to the next song, I'm just looking at my notes. And as I was listening through to the album, like attentive listening whilst I make my notes, I wrote a note to myself here was, had to stop listening to the album at this point because it was enough and there was still nearly 30 minutes to go. No, thank you. So I came back to it later that day. Because this has already been we're 7 tracks into the album.
Yeah.
And there's still 30 minutes left over 3 more tracks. No, 3 more tracks.
3 more songs.
That's a lot, man.
Yeah, but I don't know. There will be a time where our thoughts on this subject kind of converge. But for me, it's not yet. Like I genuinely think it flies by, this album.
I do not think it flies.
I think it does. I could put
And
it
I
on.
say that as someone who like quite likes this album.
Yeah.
But it's not an album I typically go back to because I always think, oh, I'll be listening to that for like 75 minutes.
Yeah. But you know, it says 70, like I know 75 minutes is gone, but it's like, goes by in a blink of an eye.
Not with all those intros, man.
Yeah, but you just, I don't know. They're like
Maybe like 45 minutes of it goes by.
Like
and then the remaining like 30 or whatever is
this
not
will
so
come up
much.
later, because when we talk about how well this album's reviewed and the acclaim it gets,
yeah.
I think that sends a bad message to some key decision makers in Iron Maiden, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think the acclaim it gets isn't deserved at this point. But I think the messages they take from that have some quite bad results later down the line.
Yeah, I think that's true. And I think, we'll talk about the critical reception more in a little bit, but I think this is also where we reach the point where the narrative critically around Maiden has shifted so much that no one journalism-wise is going to say anything bad about Maiden.
No.
And sometimes people become a bit too effusive rather than, yeah, I liked it. They feel they have to say, oh, this is mind-blowing. What an amazing third wind for the band. Wow, they're so urgent and modern and effective at what they do. And they're definitely not past it. No, sir.
Hell no. Well,
I'm not saying they're past it, but I'm just saying like some of the reaction becomes too much.
I would say on the strength of the next song we're going to talk about, all that praise is deserved and then some. Because we're talking about track 8, For the Greater Good of God.
9-minute song.
Yeah. And you know what?
But
I wouldn't shave a second off it.
Yeah. As long as the song is, and it is too long.
No, it's not.
I think it doesn't drag like the other long songs as much. There's just a lot of caveats there. But yeah, I really love the introductory vocal melody. Yeah. There's like quite a Brave New World vibe to that to me. And the sort of delicate building is really nice. There's really good pre-chorus. The whole, moments of it are some of my favorite moments on the album.
Yeah.
But I think the whole song feels very Brave New World.
The way it builds, but also I think even the clean intro I think is kind of interesting because it feels almost folky. The "Are you a man of peace?" bit, But then the way without any warning it just comes in full electric. You fire off, da, 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 da. And again amazing drums from Nico, just pummeling, building up to the like lead guitar refrains of "Please tell me now what."
Yeah.
And
that bit in particular feels like it could fit on Brave New World.
Absolutely massive. Yeah. And even then you think, oh, there's my chorus. And then you get the more kind of Celtic-y jig of For the Greater Good. And again, a really strange vocal melody.
Yeah, let's talk about that vocal melody.
Yeah.
We're never going to talk about that ever again. But For the Greater Good of God. It's just kind of like someone's missed a beat there.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
It works.
It works. And it's really interesting. And it sticks in your memory because it's so off kilter.
And to me, that is a very Steve Harris approach to writing vocal melodies because he's
I'm going to shove the words in there.
It's like, this is what the guitar's doing.
Yeah.
And this is what you need to do. Because I can't imagine Bruce would have ever.
Yeah.
Also worth noting, this is one of the few songs off this album to ever be reprised outside of the supporting tour. Because it made a return for Legacy of the Beast, didn't it?
Yes.
And I thought that was I was so chuffed to hear that song again.
It's a great song. It is a great song.
So chuffed to hear that song again. And did it come back for the pre-Final Frontier sort of festival run of 21st Century?
I cannot remember.
Yeah, I get the feeling it might have done.
Let's do a live fact check.
Let's do a live fact check. But yeah, for me, I'm going to say it, Sam, not just a high point of this album, a high point of 21st Century Maiden. So yeah, big fan of For the Greater Good of God, really.
Yeah, it's a really strong track.
Bringing us on then to the penultimate song, The very overlooked Lord of Light.
Overlooked for a reason.
Oh, no. No, Sam. This is where you're wrong. You're very wrong. I mean...
I feel like this is like the least memorable track on the album,
Well,
if I'm honest.
Yeah, sadly. I mean, the fact how little you hear people speak about it, I get the feeling you're probably onto something there, even though a lot of Maiden fans don't want to admit to it. I never hear people talk about Lord of Light.
My notes say, quote, unquote, sort of pointless. Cut it.
What about that verse riff? The dun 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 na 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 dun.
It just doesn't add
Secrets
enough to the
that
album
you
for
keep.
me.
Oh, no, I think there are an awful lot of redeeming features. Again, acoustic-y intro bit,
Yeah.
that is pointless, right? But when it gets going, there is so much to like about Lord of the Light. I also really like the chorus, the dumb, like kind of really heavy. Let's fly, live yourself. I mean... Well, no, I'm going to stand up for Lord of Light. I think Lord of Light is, I was going to say a rager, but but it has some of Raiden's best riffs in it, and even the sort of bridge bit of the lead guitar parts, the dun 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 dun. It's where I will meet you, if not quite halfway. I'll meet you 10% of the way.
Sure.
This would be a much better. This does not. This is one of the long songs. It doesn't need the length.
Yeah, and maybe that's what leaves me cold.
Like I actually think you've got a brilliant, punchy 5-minute song here, but maybe this is where the progressive inclinations of Steve are diluting the impact of the song somewhat. Because I think there's some brilliant riffs in it, and it's an Adrian Smith, Steve Harris collab. So if we're presuming that Adrian's bringing a lot of the riffs here, I think there's some amazing Adrian riffs.
That's fair. But great riffs don't make a great song.
No, but
songwriting does.
But I think the kernel of the song, the verse, the bridge, the chorus is great. It's just that there's a lot of kind of padding that. When Maiden do it well, like I said, for the greater good of God, Longest Day, if it's building tension, it's kind of building a dynamic, that's fine.
Yeah.
But Lord of Light is a really good example of how you get that ponderous, clean intro that then just breaks into an amazing riff.
Yeah.
You go, this is sick. And I maybe in my mind, I just forget the previous however long I've had to listen to.
Yeah,
and just zoom
I
in on
think
the bit
this is one of the worst offenders for sure, and I think
I'm really worried about talking about the next song, but let's
we'll see.
Get there. Yeah,
but I think you used the word. Well, the phrase "progressive tendencies of Steve,"
yeah,
and I just want to pick up on that because I know I'm talking about all these songs being too long, and I'm repeating myself, and I'm banging a drum, and I've been doing it for albums at this point.
Yeah,
but
hey, you said about Rhyme the Ancient Mariner, folks, and he changed his mind. So never know.
It's funny you should say that because what's interesting about a song like "Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner" is that is a progressive song to me. I might not like all of it, but there's movements, there's shifts, there's acts to that song. There is a progression, there is a narrative, there is a constant momentum and evolution to that track that most of the songs on this album don't have in the same way. What they have is a 4 to 6 minute song bolstered by or weighed down by some messy progressive tendencies that don't actually serve the song. They don't actually necessarily build or drive momentum in the track in the same way that Mariner constantly shapeshifts and becomes really exciting. You just kind of get this feeling like I have 2 or 3 great ideas and I'm just going to batter them into submission rather than let's go on an epic journey together musically. And that doesn't apply to every song, and there's different proportions of that throughout the songs on the album. But I think a track like Lord of Light is a really good example of that, where it's just kind of like, well, shit. Like, I don't know what you want me to do with this song. At this point, we're like the best part of 60 minutes in, and I'm tired, and you're giving me a song that, sure, it's got some cool moments, but where's the song? I need a song.
Well, the song is "Let It Fly, Rain Yourself."
That's not going to grab me and pull me in and drag me along.
I'm grabbed. Like I've said this before, but there is a point where I will fully back you up on this.
Oh yeah, it gets much worse from here.
Yeah, but
so much worse.
But I'm not there yet.
Okay.
I'm not there yet.
I've been here since 1995.
Yeah, it's true. He has been here since, well, I mean, even since 1984, if we go back to the right Rich About episode.
Yeah, but I've come around to that. I do think that's an excellent song now.
But yeah, for me, would Lord of Light be better if it was even 6 minutes long? Yes, but the 6 minutes I do really like, so I can just kind of take or leave
That's fair enough.
the other bits of it. What
Entitled to your opinion, even if it's wrong.
do bloody love, though, is the final offering on this album, which, as we established last episode, was going to be for a time, was the working title for the album itself, which is the Yannick Gers Steve Harris collab, which, interestingly, in the documentary that accompanies this, everyone refers to it as Yannick's song.
That is interesting.
Yeah, no one calls it Steve and Yannick's song. They're all like, oh yeah, Yannick's tune, which is The Legacy.
I mean, presumably Yannick just came with most of the song and Steve helped tweak it and refine it.
Well, probably added the lyrics. I don't think Yannick's ever really contributed lyrics to Maiden. And vocal melodies, presumably Steve as well. But again, a song I don't hear many people talk about, but particularly when this album was first released, this was the one I really latched onto and was like, oh, this is great.
Yeah. I think it's got a lot going for it.
Even the clean intro, almost like Bruce being creepy.
Yeah, I've written that it's got a really cool, creepy medieval beginning.
It is the most Genesis I think Maiden have ever been.
Yeah.
Like, it is so...
There are shades of Peter Gabriel.
Yeah, it is so Selling England by the Pound. If you listen to the song, if you've not listened to that album, listener, listen to the intro to the song A Cinema Show off Selling England by the Pound. It's very reminiscent of the intro to The Legacy. But then the big crescendo of the dun,
Big epic chords.
Oh, huge. With
really
the...
cool.
Admittedly quite naff synth keys in the background, but I don't mind it. And the verse riff, just the brooding, punchy swagger of the dun 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 dun. It's just like,
that's a good riff.
it's kind of heavy in a very subtle, understated way, just like a really domineering swagger to it. And then building up to, well, Bruce finally doing some layered vocals to the chorus for the turn off our golden sun. Like,
very cool chorus melody.
Yeah.
Again, like, got quite that weird, almost awkward Celticness to it.
Yeah. Yeah, proper Steve Harris being like, no, sing it like that. It's going to be really syncopated and almost kind of unnatural. But
like, you can imagine that melody more on a fiddle than a vocal line. I think it's interesting that you mentioned the synths on this one, actually, because we haven't talked about the synths at all in the context of this album.
No.
But they are everywhere.
Yeah.
And probably slightly overused. And I think they stand out much more now than they did in 2006.
Yeah, although weirdly...
In the way that, like, synths age.
I remember bumping into someone I knew from before I even knew you, right?
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Terrible before times.
A time before time even began. I bumped into him at a music festival in Germany when I was 18.
Okay.
And we'd not seen each other since we were about 11.
Yeah.
But it turned out neither of us really knew what metal was then, but we both converged on metal and randomly bumped into each other.
Interesting.
And we talked about this album, and I remember him talking to me about the prog and the synths back then. So I think people were talking about the...
Okay, that's interesting.
Well, I think it's part of the wider... Oh, Maiden have really gone prog, haven't they? As if people forgot the X Factor.
Yeah.
Like, as if...
The synths have been there since 95.
Yeah, but the synths are much more prominent here in some ways, like much more so than certainly Brave New World. But
again, I would also say like these type of synths don't make it prog. Like
it's the songs.
Yeah. But it's interesting how people keep conflating that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
definitely.
It's a texture that prog uses, but to be honest, prog doesn't tend to use it in such a let's put the orchestra hit sound in everything kind of way. They use it in a much more, I'm going to have a keyboard solo that sounds a bit like a guitar solo.
Yeah.
Well,
I think this is the thing about Maiden. I presume this is still Steve playing the keyboards on the album, which is what traditionally happened.
Yeah.
Like, they've not got Rick Wakeman in to do it, have they? Like, no.
What they should have done on the supporting tour for this is have Steve, every other song, switch between bass and a keytar.
Nice.
Just.
It's like proper 80s Rush with Geddy Lee doing some of the synths on the pedals and the others on the keyboard and just going back and forth between the bass and the keys and the pedals like some strange octopus stuff.
Now that's prog.
That is prog. Yeah, Rush is prog, people.
A prog band would not be caught dead having the synths on a backing track.
Maiden don't put them on backing tracks.
Okay, having them performed by someone
by a
roadie.
Off stage. Yeah. Who literally has to go one finger kind of D, 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 D. I mean, maybe that could be my gig. Maybe I could play the keys for Maiden.
Maybe.
Steve wouldn't even need to pay me. You need to feed me.
Yeah.
Give you accommodation. Not even mentioned that as we are recording this, British Lion are getting ready to take the stage in Cardiff. We are not there.
Yeah. We're not there because... I'm not there because I don't want to see British Lion live, if I'm honest. And spend money for it.
And I'm not there because this was the only night you were free to record.
Yeah, but if you really wanted to go, we would have found a way to reject. I think in your heart of hearts, you weren't that vested in going into it.
I think there might also be something in that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you would have seen them before. This is not their first tour.
No, I've had ample opportunities to
exactly.
Oh, well.
There it is, folks.
Oh, well, I'm sure...
Levin's not quite the diehard he makes himself out to be.
Well, I don't think I've ever said I'm a diehard British Lion fan. I do have my tickets for Smith Kotzen and Bristol next year, though, so...
Oh, I should get on that.
What does that tell you about my Maiden allegiance, that I'm...
Is that Adrian Smith is the best member of the band?
Interesting. He's up there.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I even stand behind that, to be honest.
I'm just waiting.
I mean, I guess it's probably Steve, right?
I mean, to be fair, I'm waiting for the Anna Gear solo project. I'm not even being funny. Like, I would, like...
I just expect a... Well, I mean, that was basically Tattooed Millionaire, except he didn't get the billing.
Great, let's get more of that then, Nick. Come on. But like Tattooed Millionaire, but mashed up with his sort of... This whole Celtic vibe he's discovered since
Celtic Millionaire.
Maiden.
Or Tattooed Celtic.
But yeah, bringing it back to the legacy.
Good song.
Yeah, it's
quite a big dramatic ending.
Yeah, and people again don't really talk about it.
It's because this album is so long that at this point people have forgotten what is on it.
Well, I sense you're being a little bit sardonic there, Sam. And yeah, I think there might actually be some truth in that. I think
I'm being sardonic, but I'm also like being weirdly sincere. I
think there's something in that. I think by the time we get to the end of the album, I wonder how many people are still...
It's such...
like hanging in there.
Yeah, it's a lot to digest at once, right? And I think it was a bold move to play the whole thing live because I think the album loses you by the end, even if the legacy is a good ending track. So to do that live is kind of like to just have a big portion of the gig where people will taper off attention span wise.
Well, let's save our thoughts about the live experience until the next step. What we've not addressed full on but hinted at last time was the whole production of this album.
Oh yeah.
The fact that it was a big talking point when this album was released that it had not been mastered. It was live in the studio feel.
I mean, we did talk about that a bit.
We did talk about it, but I think we also said,
and I ranted about it
a bit.
being nonsensical
just in
decision.
terms of thinking of it, how it services the songs, then I guess. What are your takes on it from that point of view?
I don't think it necessarily does them a disservice, but I don't think it does it a service anything either. I think ultimately the whole "we didn't master this, so it's exactly what you heard in the studio" is gumph. That means nothing.
Yeah.
And the result to the album you're listening to is mostly a big fat nothing. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, I was listening to this on £5 earphones that I would have bought from the shop, like from Woolies. I name check Woolworths a lot in this podcast. From Woolies on my Discman. So I wasn't getting an audiophile experience on any level. To this date, sometimes I'm getting a more high quality audio experience, but it's not, I'm not listening to it on studio standard monitors, and nor do I really wish to, you know?
No.
So yeah, I think the whole thing's a bit of a red herring, but the pretentiousness of it annoys me. I think.
Yeah, for my 2 pence worth, when I was listening to bits of it again on the way over, on a really mid-range pair of headphones at best.
Yeah.
Admittedly, this is the streaming version that has apparently been remastered from some master somewhere. Presumably.
Yeah.
I was like, yes, sounds good. Like compared to some of the albums we will inevitably have to discuss to see this thing through to the end.
Yeah.
This podcast voyage.
Oh God.
I mean, this sounds positively great. Some of the albums that we're gonna have to talk about.
Yeah.
It's kind of punchy. There are bits where I question the whole approach to, oh yeah, Bruce's vocals, first takes, let's go with those. There's a few where I think,
yeah, there's a few vocal
Bruce sounds
bits
good,
like,
but
it's very dry sounding as well.
Yeah. But all in all, I guess the thing is there you do begin to notice a slight at this point, and it is a slight, but a slight dip from the sonic qualities of Brave New World.
Yes.
Brave New World.
I would say sonically this is I really like the sound of Dance of Death in general.
Yeah.
I would say this is a step down.
Yeah.
And it's hard to
Slight step
articulate specifically why. But I remember at the time thinking that, because it's unmastered, that's why it sounds a bit like rough and slipshod at a few points. Now that I understand the process a bit more, I don't think the mastering would have a huge impact on that. Although a lot of people say mastering and compression are kind of what glues lots of elements together.
Yeah.
And I do think a lot of this album sounds a little bit disconnected sonically.
Yeah.
In a way that you didn't have that with Dance of Death or Brave New World, which felt quite warm and fluid.
Well, we did say with Dance of Death, the criticism of Dance of Death is that people said it felt a bit bolted together. As in, if you're going to do the whole live thing,
stuff.
Lots of cuts.
Although I didn't really notice that
felt a bit
much
more seamless. No, I didn't
at first until I made my own edit of it, and I was like, oh, that's a weird cut.
Whereas this, the one thing I would say about this album is the mission statement is we want to capture live, a kind of raw energy, as though we're kind of this is like a band live in a room together. I think it partially succeeds.
Yeah.
Right, because it does have a kind of, not ramshackle, but there's a looseness to things that does create a kind of, there's a slight, there's a sort of fizzle to it, like a crack, an energy that over subsequent releases you could argue just sounds shoddy. Yeah.
I think one thing that's interesting as a lack of point of comparison is obviously they played this whole album on the tour, but there's not a live document for this tour. And it would be really fascinating to listen to a live album from this tour and compare it to the album.
Yeah, there's a few songs in particular. Like I was thinking of that riff in the Reincarnation of Benjamin Brie.
Yeah.
I bet that would sound I bet that would sound huge live.
I guess the closest thing we've got is around this time supporting the album, Maiden recorded a few songs at Abbey Road Studios as part of a show for Channel 4 called Live at Abbey Road. And I think they played 2 songs off this album. I can't remember anymore. I need to check that. But yeah, that's the closest thing we've got to a live document from this era.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sure there'll be some other Pro Shot clips.
well, there's bootlegs. Yeah, you know, the interesting thing about this is that they, not the immediate tour. I think it was the year after, 2007. I want to say. Yeah, they headlined Download, and Download was live streamed that year in 2007, right? So it was very bitty, kind of not great quality. Yeah. But I remember watching that live stream from my house, and it is now on YouTube. But they weren't doing the whole album at that point.
Yeah, I mean, doing the whole album on a festival show would have been real killjoy.
Well, it was a real kind of a bit of a fudge, really, because it was, what was it billed as, like a matter of life and the Beast or something, because it was like the 25th anniversary of Number of the Beast.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And it was the kind of part 2 leg, basically, of the Matter of Life and Death tour. So they were like, we're going to do a couple of songs off Number of the Beast.
Okay.
Like this really tokenistic concession to that album.
Yeah.
So they chucked Children of the Damned in the set list.
Oh, great song.
Yeah, I know. And pulled out some of the, but then still did a big chunk of A Matter of Life and Death. So that might be the
pretty weird for a download set.
What's that?
Pretty weird for a download set, I'd say.
Yeah, it was weird. And at the time, Maiden said, we're filming this for a live DVD. But it never came out. But there's one the footage
there is, it was rubbish.
Well, no, it was, I think it was good. But Bruce fell over doing Wrathchild.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he slipped and fell on his bottom, bless him.
But is that enough to nix an entire DVD release?
I don't know, because what do you do with that? Do you just edit it out?
You either edit it out or you just own it.
But it's being live streamed, right? Everyone goes, I don't know, or maybe they thought, does the world need...
Or you just cut the song or whatever.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I'm sure that wasn't the actual reason. There must have been some other reason.
That'd be quite a precious reason to cut it out, if I'm honest.
Hey, I don't want footage of me falling my bum on DVD, Sam.
I'd be all right.
And I've not got...
Me falling over, it'd be fine.
I've not got a front man ego, so... God knows how Bruce feels about it. Yeah, I'm sure that's not the reason, but I remember Bruce saying on stage at Download, we're filming this for a DVD.
Interesting.
And here we are, almost 20 years later.
Yeah.
Still waiting for that DVD.
Well, when the band retires, maybe this is one of the things that will come out the vault.
Yeah, I hope so. Oh, maybe they'll just sell it all to Netflix.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be great.
Maybe Maiden start their own streaming service.
Well,
it's just the Maiden vaults.
Marillion have. What? And I paid for that, so...
What's in the Marillion streaming service?
It's called The Space. I mean, it's just everything you expect. Live concerts, documentaries.
Is there enough on there to justify a monthly subscription?
Yeah, I don't want this to sound like a paid ad for The Space, the Marillion streaming service, but it gives me a lot of entertainment, Sam.
Well, thank you to our sponsors, Marillion, for this episode.
Marillion, and specifically The Space. £5 a month, well spent.
Please send us some money.
Yeah, please. Please, Marillion. Especially if you've got a small child and a wife, and sometimes you think, stuff this, I'm going to watch 1980s Marillion on my mobile phone with my headphones on.
Some top parenting tips from Clever now.
What a great way to unwind.
Just imagining you sat in your armchair, headphones on, face down on your phone, whilst your child is screaming, and your partner's just like, Blevin, why aren't you helping me?
There's just me just going, Kaylee, it's too late, say sorry.
I should say, a lot of the time when I go to Blevin's house and we sit in his living room, and it's both our partners and sometimes both our children, or at least his child, and Blevin's immediate go-to is always to put his TV on and put some Marillion on. Just without fail, it's always Marillion.
Gotta be
And
Marillion.
I don't like Marillion.
Or Genesis, really.
Yeah, it's usually Marillion you put
It's
on.
usually Marillion, yeah.
No one else in the room is into it.
Before we get to the singles, I saw there was that list published recently of the 20 highest grossing live acts.
Oh,
of the
yeah,
20th
yeah.
century. And I saw Maiden were in the top 20 by ticket sales, but they were not as high grossing as a band called Fish. And I got very excited thinking, wow, it's Fish, the former lead singer of Marillion. No, it is a Fish with a P-H-I-S-H,
Yeah.
who I'd never heard of.
I've heard of them, and in my head, they're Primus, but they're obviously not
I
Primus.
don't think Primus are selling more tickets than
Imagine
Maiden.
if they were, though.
I mean, wow.
Yeah. I mean, who else was on that list? Guns N' Roses and Metallica,
Yeah.
right?
AC/DC,
Yeah.
Taylor Swift,
Yeah.
Depeche Mode, slightly underneath Maiden.
This is a real tangent, but I listened to the 2 new Guns N' Roses songs the other day, and I feel like every new song they put out is worse than the last. Actually, nothing's as bad as The General. The General is the real nadir of Guns N' Roses output ever. But, man, what? They're all just Chinese Democracy B-sides.
I mean, maybe, well, that's probably exactly what I haven't listened to the new Guns N' Roses.
I mean, a lot of them are definitely from the Chinese Democracy era, but they're just nothing, vacuous, soulless songs. Even if they have Slash and Duff on them, they're just so heartless.
Shame.
Yeah.
Well, what isn't heartless, Sam? See, why am I not in radio? I've got links for days. I could do the one show. I mean, this is exactly what people need.
I don't think so.
Although I don't think Alex Jones stops to remind everyone how great a link is every time she does it.
That was a great link.
Yeah.
Now, have you heard of our Lord and Savior, Marillion?
Brilliant. The singles. So, Reincarnation of Benjamin Brieg, which is, as we said last episode, gets its sort of internet premiere. Ooh, the internet.
Oh, 2006 internet.
But gets a physical release on the 14th of August. Apparently, I've been told there is no chart single available because it was deemed...
Was it ineligible?
Yeah, it was ineligible because it was too long
Yeah.
as a package.
Was the length more like EP length than single?
Yeah, I guess that's it. I think we're back to the No More Lies EP issue where they
Yeah.
said as a package this is too long. But we get a variety of nice formats. In particular, I believe, I'll try and get a picture on the gram to coincide with this episode. I think I've got a 10-inch clear vinyl version from the day,
Nice.
which is very nice. Very nice artwork, the Reincarnation of Benjamin Brieg.
Yeah, I was going to say
Like
there's a
an
really
odd
good artwork.
counterpoint to Live After Death. But like Eddie digging up the grave of who we can presume is Benjamin Brieg with a sort of pick.
It is a great cover.
Yeah.
It's a very... See, I like that cover much more than I like the album cover. That feels much
I
more
like
Maiden-y to me.
Yeah, I mean, that might be... Yeah, it'd be interesting if that had been the cover. I see why the cover they went for reflects the album better.
Yeah. What's weird about the Benjamin Brieg released as a single is the commercially available versions of it don't have the cut down single edit on it. So the 2-track CD has the full length track and then a Radio 1 version of Hallowed Be Thy Name.
Yep.
And then the clear vinyl that you own has 2 live tracks from Radio 1 sessions and the full Benjamin Brieg. And it's only the promo version of the single that went out to like disc jockeys. God, I sound old when I say that. DJs.
Commercial radio DJs.
Yeah, okay. Which went out to radio DJs that had both the full length track and the cut down. The cut down was still 5 minutes 25.
Yeah.
But it's a better version.
Yeah, and I do remember that getting played, particularly on stuff like Planet Rock around that time.
Yeah.
But maybe worth reflecting on, because most of the B-sides from the 2 singles we're going to discuss are these Radio 1 Legend sessions where Maiden were invited to Abbey Road, I believe, to just do an in-studio recording of mostly like a few classics.
If it was Radio 1 sessions, that would have been Maiden. Right, this is Sam from the editing room interjecting because at this point in the recording, Blev and I proceed to get all of our wires completely crossed. So rather than bore you with us going back and forth and trying to do a live fact check, I can confirm two things. The B-sides of the Radio 1 Legend sessions were recorded at the famous Maiden Vale Studios, where most Radio 1 live recordings happen. Those tracks all ended up as B-sides, as you know, but also on BBC Radio 1 on Zane Lowe's show, which is surprisingly mainstream for Iron Maiden. As far as I can tell, there was no footage from this, however. And then separately, the UK's Channel 4 also invited Maiden onto their Live at Abbey Road TV series, where various artists, old and new, played a smattering of material in the legendary Abbey Road studios. Go figure. That's up on YouTube. It's a good watch. I'd really recommend it. But yeah, that kind of catches you up to what we were trying to figure out whilst recording. Back to your regularly scheduled programming.
But what is interesting about that is the Live at Abbey Road episode that Maiden are on. Can you guess the other two artists who are featured on that same episode?
Is it Amy Winehouse?
No.
Lily Allen?
No.
The Arctic Monkeys?
You are really going for the era. One of them's of the era and one of them is not.
Take That.
No.
One's of the era, one's not.
Okay, so the one of the era is Natasha Bedingfield.
Wow, okay.
And then the one not of the era is Gypsy Kings. What an
Right.
eclectic lineup of artists for that
Yeah.
episode.
Well, even more interesting, really, that Maiden all of a sudden were, having been quite out in the cold in terms of...
Well, yeah, I
mainstream
mentioned this on the
media.
previous episode.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting that Maiden are being re-embraced by the national broadcasters of the UK in a way that they hadn't been for years.
Yeah, very interesting. But yeah, those Radio 1 Legend sessions in particular, which may or may not, I think you're right, actually may not be the Live at Abbey Road Channel 4 thing, were the standard, became the B-sides for pretty much everything.
Yeah.
And then we get one other single, which comes out quite significantly later, as is often the case, like the Keep the Hype Train Going single, which is on the 26th of December. We get Different World, which is...
a much better choice for a single.
So obviously the first single.
Yeah.
So obviously the first single. But B-sides, we get more Radio 1 Live sessions. But we also get a cover of Hocus Pocus by Focus,
Nice.
as mentioned last time, which is, like a lot of Maiden covers, could be better, but Focus are great, and Hocus Pocus is a really fun song.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
But where did it chart, Sam? I find this hard to believe, by the way, but apparently this is true.
Third.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
Apparently it charted at number 3.
I find that hard to believe as well.
I mean, I find it hard to believe.
Yeah.
But apparently this charted at number 3, but again,
Wow.
it was a different time. I bought this on... I mean, I own at least 2 different physical versions of this. I've got 7-inch picture disc single, different B-side, Sam. Mate,
Okay.
and the CD single.
Can't judge. I have multiple versions of.
So I got the 7-inch
Heart
picture disc
singles.
B-side and the CD single. We didn't talk about the music videos, though, but Different World is perhaps worth talking about. Do you remember the music video?
Is it bad CGI?
It's bad CGI.
Yeah.
Sam. Apparently
I
there's 2
vaguely
versions,
remember
but the only version I remember is the bad CGI version.
Yeah. I mean, the bad CGI version, as I recall, is not as bad as, say, Wildest Dreams.
But it's from the same stable of
Yeah.
quite bad CGI.
It's not great.
Reincarnation of Benjamin Brieg, of course, also had a video.
That was more live footage and like close-ups of Bruce's face a lot, wasn't it?
Again, it wasn't great.
No.
It was just in the studio live
I
stuff.
would say like Maiden have really missed a trick over the years by just not having any good videos. Mostly.
Yeah. No, I was literally
I mean, maybe something like I think we both quite enjoyed Rainmaker.
well, that's it. Yeah, that's the one that came to mind.
Maybe Wicker Man.
Yeah, Wicker Man's inoffensive. It's fine.
But their standard of videos, I mean, I love the Can I Play with Madness video, but maybe not for the right reasons. But overall, their standard of videos is low. And at this point in time, there could have been a good opportunity to like just have a good video.
Yeah, I mean, would it have made much? This was like, I guess this was at the tail end of.
If you're going to spend money on bad CGI, you could just hire a good videographer.
Yeah, I guess. But then Maiden would actually have to show up, wouldn't they?
Yeah,
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't think they could be bothered at this point. But yeah, so probably fair to say 2 not exactly classic singles.
No.
But getting on to the reception, if the critics are to be believed, Sam, a classic album. Well, what did Metal Hammer give this at the time, do you think, out of 10?
9.
10.
Naff off.
10
Who reviewed it?
of 10. I think it was Malcolm Dome.
Malcolm. Come on, man.
Malcolm Dome, to be fair to him, he was consistent until the end of his life. Whenever he was asked about Maiden, he always cited A Matter of Life and Death. I think he always said his 2 favourite Maiden albums were Killers and Matter of Life and Death. So he held true to that review. Apologies if it wasn't Malcolm Dome who wrote it, but Malcolm Dome was the person at Metal Hammer at the time who seemed to be the biggest champion of this album.
Yeah.
And yeah, 10 out of 10. A perfect album, Sam. Well,
it's not a 10 out of 10.
what about the more
Oh, wait,
measured-
actually, I don't think it is Malcolm Dome.
No?
Okay, this is not definitive, but according to a Facebook post that's quoting the review, it's Alexander Milas reviewing it, who, of course, would go on to become editor of Metal Hammer and nowadays is the lead chief of the Iron Maiden fan club.
Yeah. Now, I want to say, someone please correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think that's right.
Okay.
Alexander Milas definitely did the Final Frontier review because he gave that quite a cool 8 out of 10, I seem to remember. I don't know. I'm quite happy to be to be corrected here, but I don't remember.
We need the magazine.
Alexander
That's what we
Milas.
need.
Yeah, I will have to drive down to Swansea, dig it out because I do have it somewhere,
Yeah.
and we all definitively know. And by that time, no one will care.
I don't care right now.
Yeah, no, does anyone really care who wrote the Metal Hammer review? But they gave it 10 out of 10. The good folk at Classic Rock, though, and actually maybe I am confusing because I did read both mags at the time, because Malcolm Doane wrote for both. So maybe
Yeah.
Malcolm Doane wrote the much more measured Classic Rock review, Sam. What do you think they gave it out of 10?
8 out of 10.
A cool 9 out of 10
There's nothing cool about that.
in Classic Rock.
Nothing cool about that.
Do you want to guess how many Ks Krang gave it?
I wonder if Kerrang were being young and hip and contrary. It's 3 Ks.
It was 5.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, because it's great.
It's not a 5 out of 5 album.
Well, but let's see. Let's see how magazines are because it's one thing to be giddy of the excitement at the time. How has it been retrospectively appraised? So we always go back to these definitive lists, right? That the publications put together.
Yeah.
So, how many Maiden albums have we got at this point? About 15. I'm not talking up until this point, by the way. I'm talking when most of these magazines publish their lists, right? So, they're at the time of recording.
This is the 14th album.
This is the 14th album. So now we're looking at the 17th. Got 3 more left to do. Right? So, Stereo Gum, always the outliers. Stereo Gum ranked this the 10th best Maiden album.
Yeah, that feels slightly too low.
Yeah, Kerrang, who was so effusive at the time, ranked it the 9th best Maiden studio album.
More reasonable.
Louder Sounds, which is Metal Hammer and Classic Rock. And this list was put together by a friend of the pod. He has no idea the pod exists. Dom Lawson ranked it the 5th best Maiden album.
I wish he was our friend. 5th is too high, though.
This is why he's not our friend. Because he keeps slagging off his opinions.
I really respect Dom Lawson's opinions. I think he's a fantastic writer and I always love reading his reviews. But I think also, whilst we both seem to like a lot of the same bands, we seem to like them in quite different ways.
Yeah,
So I'll disagree with him, but by God, I respect his opinion.
get him on the pod.
Yeah, that Dom, get on the pod.
Get him on the pod. Now, we will look see how this charts at the time, but just to return to a point I made earlier about the amount, the praise for this album at the time was ecstatic, right? It was just a few plaudits, I remember. This is the heaviest Maiden album. It's the most progressive Maiden album. It's the best Maiden album since the 1980s. These were the things that were said about it at the time. And I loved this album at the time.
People sure do say a lot of shit, don't they?
But at the time, I would have agreed with all of it. But I think this sends a message to Maiden.
Yeah,
Right.
more of this.
Yeah, and the message
emphasis
is
on the more.
people love these long-winded introductions.
I love it when no one edits your songs.
Yeah, they love it. And also, I think they love it when we just go into the studio, record things really quickly, don't worry too much about producing it and making it sound all nice and shiny.
Don't worry about that studio magic.
Well, look, as we'll get to, I think this is a very good album. I think the lessons or messages made and take from it.
I think that's a really fair point.
Calm
I think
down
it's
the
definitely
Yeah.
this getting overwhelming praise definitely means that there's no reflection after making it of like, oh, maybe we could have done this thing better, or that thing could have been a bit different, or this song could have been shorter.
Yeah.
Like, there's none of that happening because it's kind of like, oh, great. Okay, yeah, we'll just do exactly the same ad infinitum for the next 3 albums until it becomes, you know, the progressive snake eating itself.
Yeah.
Ouroboros of Genesis wannabes.
Wow. How did it chart though, Sam, this album?
Was it a 1?
You know, weirdly,
Was it like Maiden
wasn't.
fans going out in droves? No.
No, so it peaks at number 4 in the UK.
I guess
album
people were
charts.
still. This is pre-streaming music. Actually.
Well, indeed,
so people
yeah.
are still actually buying music, which
They
means
are.
Maiden isn't popular enough to get to number 1 yet.
Well, let's see what else was popular though, Sam. So we're
So
talking,
sorry, what number was Maiden?
number 4.
Okay, it's still very respectable.
Oh, very respectable, yeah. And this is, you know, a time where that really meant something still. Just about when the last couple of years like,
Yeah.
meant something. But
It's what Spotify appears 2008, I think.
yeah, or 7.
Yeah, something around then.
But this is the first week of September 2006. So what
I should say, although there isn't streaming, there is shed loads of file sharing
Yeah, but that was still awkward and inconvenient for a lot of people.
for a lot of people. Not necessarily me,
But if you wanted to get an album's worth
but I would
of
still
songs,
buy stuff. Yeah.
and the quality was ropey, and
No,
you
not around 2006. 2006 was the golden age of torrents and
torrents,
the Pirate
yeah,
Bay.
see, I
And
never really got on board with torrents.
yeah, you were a little bit of a Luddite, whereas
I was
I'm a nerd, and
look.
at the time I was sailing the 7 seas
Yeah.
of digital content.
I mean, come at me, police. I was there in the Napster, LimeWire,
Yeah,
Kazaa
this
days.
is post.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and
I
I
would say.
got off that train by that point.
I should also just, to clarify, I did pretty much buy all of the music I ever
yeah.
pirated at some point because I love music and I love supporting it.
I mean, for several years, Sam and I were basically keeping the UK music industry alive, really.
I think we still are a lot of the
Well,
time.
pretty much, yeah. It's by
At least like the metal bands.
like obsolete formats of
Yeah.
things that no one else wants.
My house is filled with plastic discs.
So to go back to the first week in September 2006, what else was in the chart, Sam? This is not a good era for music.
September 2006.
This is not good.
Gypsy Kings, judging by that live at Abbey Road.
No Gypsy King.
Actually, there is quite a nice Gypsy Kings album from around this time, but that's neither here nor there. I mean, I guess it's around Amy Winehouse time,
It is Amy Winehouse time, but she's not there.
but yeah, Zootons
20.
maybe.
I mean, again, right time. There's things that are adjacent
Like this.
to
This is kind of the time of
Land for
all
Indie.
yeah, all your middle of the road indie bands like Pigeon Detectives and
Yeah.
excised most from my memory. Scouting for Girls. Were Klaxons in there?
I mean, you're throwing so many darts at the board.
I actually didn't mind
close.
Klaxons. They had their moments.
There's a lot of those K indie bands, but not
Yeah.
Klaxons.
Killers. The Killers. Better band, to be fair. Sam's Town was a good album. And Hot Fuss was good. I don't know. I need more clues.
I'll just tell you.
Plain White Tees or whatever they were
So,
called.
number 1, Empire by Kasabian.
Oh, God.
Number 2, Eyes Open by Snow Patrol.
Oh.
Number 3, the new Bob Dylan offering, Modern Times. And number 4, A Matter of Life and Death, Maiden. Number 5, Back to Basics by Christina Aguilera.
Was that the Christina Aguilera album where she did Candyman?
I do.
It was just quite a, like, I'm just going to do 40s doo-wop now, briefly.
It might be. I mean, it's called Back to Basics. That would make sense. Wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Number 6, Undiscovered by James Morrison. Number 7, 12 Stops and Home by Feeling.
The Feeling thing.
Well, according to the official album charts, they're just referred to as Feeling. And they're not even dignified with an image of the album. Just got a generic graphic.
Okay. Fair enough.
Number 8, Black Holes and Revelations by Muse.
Oh, that was a cool album. I really like that album.
Yeah, that was a good album.
Has
number 1.
one of my favorite Muse songs on it, which is Starlight.
Yeah,
Which
Starlight is good.
just an incredible pop song.
Yeah. And also has Knights of Sidonia on it.
Yeah,
Probably
good song.
the most metal Muse song in the world.
Yeah.
Number 9, Loose by Nelly Furtado.
Yeah, okay.
Number 10, Inside In, Inside Out by Kooks.
Kooks. Wow, there really were a lot of K indie bands.
Did you see that? Someone got revived with the internet, that interview with Simon Amstell just subtly roasting the Kooks.
Yeah.
Which was absolutely
Oh yeah, this is like the prime era of like, yes, you had all these indie landfill bands, but you also had Simon Amstell just destroying everyone, either on Pop World or never mind the Buzzcocks. It was great.
And
Cruel, but he was very funny.
I mean, it's sad, Sam, that sometimes there's some really good stuff in the top 20 and I want to venture further, but I'm looking at this and it wasn't a good time for the charts, I don't think.
No.
I don't look back on 06, 07 were not good years for pop music, really, for me.
That's fair.
So let's put that behind us and let's take it home. So,
Maiden really is like incongruent with that entire list.
Oh, yeah. But that's what it was like being a Maiden fan back then, wasn't it? You felt like this total...
And now,
yeah.
to be honest.
But these days, I don't know what popular music is, so it doesn't bother me as much, maybe. And it kind of feels that music is so fragmented.
Yeah.
It kind of almost doesn't matter as much anymore. But back then...
There's not one cohesive stream of the pop culture that people consume.
I mean, even the idea of an album chart is kind of redundant now, isn't it?
Yeah,
Because most people can... Well, I don't know, but back then, it's still... Those things still felt like they kind of mattered. And you can see that there's a kind of pattern to things, and your band is just this total outlier.
Jokes on you, nothing matters.
Well, apparently. So, let's take it home. Best of the Beast, worst of the rest, the best song and the worst song.
I think best, I'm probably going Out of the Shadows, I think that's my favourite track on the album. Maybe followed by Different World.
Interesting.
I really like Different World.
Yeah, I mean,
I really like that pre-chorus, chorus shift around. It's very Thin Lizzy-ish.
Well, we're going very different here, because my best of the Beast is... It's really hard between the Legacy and For the Greater Good of God.
Yeah.
It could be...
I think For the Great Good of God would be my number 3 choice.
Yeah, I think For the Greater Good of God by a hair's breadth is the is my best of the Beast, but it could equally be the Legacy. My worst of the rest.
Yeah, I didn't pick my worst. My worst one's Lord of Light, I think. Just because it doesn't connect with me, not because it's a bad song. It's a nothing song to me.
For me, it does speak to the quality of this album. I find it hard. Like, I don't think there are any bad songs in this album.
Sure.
But I think they're all good. So when I say These Colours Don't Run is actually my worst of the rest.
Really?
Yeah. And I think it's just that chorus leaves me a bit flat. But again, it's still a good song. It's not a skippable song. Yeah, it might seem like an odd one for... Yeah, but that is my least favourite song. But it's my least favourite good song of what I think is a collection of good songs.
I think what's interesting about Matter of Life and Death is it's a pretty consistent album, right?
It is,
So
yeah.
it never gets bad.
No.
By any stretch. But I also don't think it ever quite reaches the highs of the best of Maiden.
Save it for your rating, Sam.
But I just mean that's why it's quite
yeah.
hard to pick out what the best and the worst tracks are, is because they're all sort of in the same space of, yeah, this is pretty good.
Yeah. A man of the match?
I don't know, Bruce. I just like Bruce's voice. I think he sounds good.
I do think Bruce does sound very good here.
And he's got, I think I probably talked about it on the Dance of Death episode, but he's got that sort of older, mature grit to his voice, but still has all the power. It's a nice balance.
It is a good
of the
sweet
two.
spot in the Bruce
Yeah.
Dickinson vocal journey. This period, like 2002 to like 8 is...
Yeah, I really like his tone in this era. And like that starts to change a bit. Like I still think he sounds great, but I think there's there's a really cool quality to his voice at this point.
Yeah, a worthy shout. I think in a way, just because I went for The Greater Good of God's my favourite song, I'm going to go for Yannick for my man of the match.
I'm not sure I've ever picked Yannick. And
Well, I know, and maybe
feels cruel.
it's about time we all need to pick Yannick. I'm talking to all the people listening as well. Pick Yannick, guys. Give Yannick a chance, because, I mean, he bloody wrote The Legacy, right? I know Steve has got...
Bloody did it.
Yeah, Steve has got his go right. It seems everyone else seems to think he wrote that song, and I think it is an overlooked triumph of a Maiden closing track, The Legacy. So for that alone, Yannick is my man of the match. But this is a very good team performance, actually. There's a whole... Dave Murray is, doing great stuff. Of course, Adrian's, being Adrian in the best possible way. Because, being Adrian is one of the best things you can be in life, as far as I'm concerned.
Sure.
Some great stuff from Nico again. Some really phenomenal single bass drum stuff. But yeah. Which means, Sam, we have to rate and rank this album. Can I go quite quickly?
Yeah, you go.
I am giving A Matter of Life and Death, just like
Don't be
folks
stupid.
at Metal Hammer. No. I am going to give it an 8.
Which is the exact same score you gave Brave New World and Dance of Death.
Yeah, which I think is absolutely about right. I cannot... There is not much between the first 3 offerings of 21st Century Maiden for me. I thought it was. Funny enough, I didn't know that for sure until you reminded me. But I was like, I get the feeling it is. And if it is, I'm totally fine with that. And the reason, just a sort of a quick little justification for the workings here.
Sure.
If the highs are not quite as high as some of the highs in the last 2 albums...
Yeah.
This is the most consistent 21st Century Maiden album.
I think that's probably fair.
And so I think we've had a similar conversation maybe about, was it Somewhere in Time or something, where we said, well, kind of actually, the highs might not be as high as, say, Peace of Mind, but as an offering, it's a much more even, consistent listen, and it kind of bounces out. So,
I do just love Somewhere in Time.
Yeah, it's a good album, Sam. I mean, don't get me wrong. This is not as good as Somewhere in Time. I will say.
Okay, just to be clear.
And I think my ratings reflect that. But this is a solid 8 for me. A very good Maiden album. Who knows? Maybe it's the last time I'll score a Maiden album this highly ever again. Or maybe not.
But maybe so. Yeah, I think we're gonna have.
Oh no.
Some differing opinions on the next one.
No.
On the next album.
Next one.
Yeah. I think you're harder on Final Frontier than I am.
Well,
but then it's been a long time since I've been back to it.
Yeah,
so.
I think I've been, well, as we'll get there, I've been on a real journey of the Final Frontier.
Okay, well.
And it's a very, I was cold and now I'm hot.
But going back to this album, I'm giving it a 7, which is what I gave Brave New World. And yeah, I'd say those two are on par for me, to be honest. I think the highs of Brave New World are higher, but the lows are lower. I think this is more consistent, but more boring. So
okay, I mean, I don't like the word boring, Sam, but
it's just
I agree with
it's a slog to listen to.
I mean, I also don't like the word slog. I'll put that out.
It's too long. Even the good stuff is too long.
None of these things sound good to my ears at all.
Well, the album doesn't sound good to my ears all the time. Okay,
I'm giving you a 2 out of 10 for this, Sam.
But no, I think it's a 7. I think it's a solid 7 out of 10.
Okay, but I am fine with that. I can live with that. This is not...
I don't care if you can live with it or not. These are my opinions.
Well...
I'm 50% of this podcast, you jerk.
Yeah, I know, but... We've already established I am an acolyte, Sam.
I don't remember what I am.
My opinions
heathen or something.
On your opinions on Maiden.
Great. We're not getting meta. We're not doing a ranking of my rankings.
I'm going to rank Sam's takes.
Yeah.
I mean, if I were to rank your takes, this would be a 6.
Great. Fantastic.
Like I'm broadly within my window of acceptance, but I'm not,
I'm not open to criticism right now. Thank you.
That also applies to folks on social media.
Yes, I am a delicate flower. Leave me alone.
And I'm just bitter and horrible, so don't come at me.
Well, there you have it, folks. What a note to end on.
What a note to end on, yeah.
But yeah,
thanks for listening.
No,
really
no. I think that wraps up everything amount of life and death wise. Outside of, obviously, we'll in the next episodes talk about the Final Frontier. But outside of Maiden, we're in our little section of what else have you been listening to this week?
Yes, we are. Which I always forget exists.
Yeah.
I know, I'm like, what have I been listening to? What have I been listening to? It's kind of odd at the end of the year. A part of me is just trying to
catch up on everything you missed.
Yeah. So not something something I was reminded of because at the time of the year now, at the start of December as we record, where some of those albums of the year lists start to appear. And something that I have enjoyed.
Which I just want to say makes no sense, and those lists should appear in January. But
they should, but it's almost like bands know that now and don't release anything this month anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go for something that I was quite into a little while ago. I saw it pop up in a couple of lists, and I was like, oh yeah, that was really good. Which is an album called Helligian Combat by the band Sigyn.
What?
So, Helligian Combat by the band Sigyn.
Okay.
In case you want to check it out, it is SIJJIN. Now, I saw this band live, or I caught the end of their set because I was a little bit late getting there. They were the first band on when Blood Incantation toured the UK with Aranzi Pazuzu. And Sigyn are a 3-piece, like a gnarly thrash death metal band.
Yeah.
But whereas a lot of those bands are quite lo-fi, right, and they all want to sound like early Creator or Possessed, Sigyn are like that, but if they had the technicality of Rust in Peace era Megadeth, and almost the production values of Rust in Peace era Megadeth, but with the vocals of like David Vincent of Morbid Angel. Like
I could get on board with that.
I think you probably could actually. It's incredibly blasphemous and very fun. And it's almost
not 2 words you typically hear together.
Blasphemy and fun.
Yeah.
But almost quite progressively minded in a Megadethy way.
Okay.
So it kind of warrants a couple of listens, but after a couple of listens, the hooks really do start. You're like, oh yeah, like And yeah, I was listening to them a lot about a few months ago because I was very impressed by them live. So yeah, if you're interested, folks, it is Sijin. They've really not done themselves any favors in a social media age. But
hard to Google name.
Jin, and I went back to it and I was like, yeah, that is still great, and I will go back to that some more.
Strong.
What about you, Sam?
I have been listening to in the last week actually a new album from a band called the Proto Men, which I'm not sure many people know who the Proto Men are on this podcast audience, but they are a Nashville-based rock band whose entire career has basically been dedicated to creating rock opera albums about the video game series Mega Man, which they reimagine in a much more Streets of Fire, Jim Steinman kind of guise. And they've only had 2 like main albums. They've done some cover stuff, but their 2 albums, Act 1 and Act 2. Act 2 came out back in 2009.
Wow, okay.
And I think 2009, but Act 3 has just come out last week, and it's a blinder. If you like sort of very 80s styled retro rock with like quite a big Jim Steinman bent to it, and it's pompous and over the top, but fantastic singers and lots of very electric sounding synths. It's a great album. Definitely good. Worth the 15 years it's been. It can't have been since 2009. When was Act 2 out? Yeah, 2009. So yeah, it was worth 16 years of waiting. Yeah.
Bit
what
like
a band.
Podcast, really, isn't it? It's been the 16-year-long wait for finally our take of A Matter of Life and Death.
I would say Act 3 by the Proto Men is better than our podcast, but
wow.
You know.
Wow. What a betrayal. What a betrayal. And on that note of just the knife in my back.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but yeah. You could
yeah, it's about right.
There's no coming back from that. But if you enjoy listening to the podcast, you can always support Maiden Voyages by contributing to our Ko-fi, which you can find at ko-fi.com/maidenpod, I believe is the correct address.
If you'd like to do some kind of financial crypto Bitcoin transaction, message us privately, and I'm sure we can arrange an online wallet for you to deposit your Bitcoin into.
Sure. Yeah. But if you just like to, shoot the breeze with us, you can find us on social media. Our most active account really is the Instagram, which is @MaidenPod, but you can also find us on Blue Sky and for some reason on X if you want to contact us there. You can also email us, maidenvoyagerspod@gmail.com. Tell us what you think about Matter of Life and Death. Is your life finally complete now that we've talked about it for you? Hopefully, hopefully it was already complete, to be honest.
Well, yeah.
But let us know.
We do hope you're happy.
Yeah.
And yes, sorry if we've disappointed you by making you wait this long, but
not that sorry.
If you'd like a more timely podcast, again, message us privately, and we can.
If you can fund it, we'll find a way.
We can make a bespoke podcast just for you.
We can send you voice notes.
Yeah, voice notes, ranging all the way up to the platinum package.
Maybe we should just set up a Cameo. Maybe that's what this is working towards.
I mean, just Christ, for money, we'll podcast about anything. Or sponsor the pod. Maybe you're a small business owner. Maybe you've got a tractor showroom in Mid Wales and you're thinking, how can I take my business to the next level? And you're thinking,
maybe you own an iconic rock club in Cardiff.
Well, hypothetically. We've got a captive audience of middle-aged white men who are a notoriously hard to reach demographic, so I've been told.
Yeah.
How am I going to reach those middle-aged white men?
Talk about bands from the 80s.
Well, exactly.
And profess that you are an expert about those bands. Anything that allows you to be corrected, boom.
Exactly. So,
to be fair, I'm quite often wrong. So
there's lots of ways you can support us, or simply, we do really appreciate the old rates and subscribes, don't we?
We do. And just
podcast streaming
just
platform of choice.
share the podcast with the Maiden fan in your life.
Yeah.
That's all we ask.
Because it's really embarrassing if we do it because we actually present it and it looks sad.
Yeah.
But when other people recommend it, it makes us look good.
When I post this on my Instagram, it just goes into an ethereal void of nothing.
Yeah.
Though I get a couple of friends messaging a couple of loyal followers at this point. But
indeed.
People I know in real life are like, oh yeah, listen to that one. That was fun.
Yeah, which is lovely.
But you're wrong.
So
No one agrees with me.
we've flogged this dead horse now, haven't we?
Oh yeah,
that's that done.
It is dead as a doorknob.
So presumably next time we get back together, we will be talking about the next Maiden studio album, which will be The Final Frontier.
Yes, which is an inappropriate name for an album that's not your last album.
Well, for an album that is now almost 20 years old.
Oh God,
That's a
Feel
bit
my
of a stretch.
bones
It's
crumbling.
about 15 years old.
it's 15 years old, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah, Jesus.
The Final Frontier. 15 years ago.
All right, goodbye.
Ta-ra.